All right, so we got a GE French door refrigerator, and the issue was the refrigerator was not cooling properly. Temperatures were warm. Temperatures on the display were reading about 60 degrees. This one will actually give you the actual temperature inside along with where you have it set at. This is a dual evaporator system, so you do have a separate evaporator in the freezer and then a separate one in the refrigerator. The freezer was cooling just fine. So what we found was the evaporator fan motor was not running, and we're going to need to replace that evaporator fan motor. This is actually common on the GE French door dual evap systems. This fan motor they've had trouble with. They've updated a few different times, and that update is replacing the fan motor. So go ahead and get into it here. We've already removed our crisper drawers, as you can see. Those just pull straight out and off. So next we're going to take off our top shelf here. I'm just going to pull up on that and slide it forward. And then next we're going to remove these panels down here for the lower crisper drawer. We got 2 1/4-inch screws to remove. And we can lift that up and slide it forward. And then this back one will just come off like that. So now this is where our evaporator is located behind this cover here. So to have better access of it, you can remove one or both of our drawer tracks here. So we'll go ahead and actually we're going to remove our left one over here because it's connected with this damper door here. So we'll remove this left one here. There's going to be 1, 2, just 1 1/4-inch screw in the front here. And then this will just pull forward. You can see it's keyed on the back here. And here's the arm for the coldness selection here. That'll go back into this door here. So we'll get that out of the way. And now we're going to have 1/4-inch screws to remove across the top of our evaporator cover. And then we got this little cover here to remove as well. This will just pull off. A couple tabs there. And then this is actually our harness for our evaporator fan motor. We'll go ahead and take these screws out now. And we'll just pull the cover forward and lift up on it. There's some foam seals and a piece of styrofoam. That's all part of this back panel. You want to make sure that you don't rip or tear any of those, bringing it off. A lot of times if that fan motor hasn't been running, you'll get a layer of frost across the top of the evaporator, which will freeze the styrofoam and foam back there. So you want to make sure you don't damage any of that. Thaw it out beforehand if that's the case. Alright, so there's our back panel, and without the fan motor running, you will develop a heavier frost pattern just at the top of your evaporator here. So now, of course, you want to unplug the refrigerator, remove the power. We'll go ahead and unplug our fan motor here. We'll get the wires out of that tab right there, or that track. This fan motor then will just slide straight out. And there's just a track back here that the wires all tuck into. And you have your fan motor removed. Alright, so the old fan motor here has this rubber grommet on it that we'll have to switch over to our new fan motor here. So we're just going to look and see, make sure you remember which way it goes in. The wires come out the front of it like that. So we're going to position this one the same way. So it'll be like that. Take this rubber grommet off of this one. And move it over here to the new one. In the same way we took it off with the old one. Okay, now that that's back on, we can install the new fan motor. And your label's going to go up. tuck our wires back in the channels they were in. So with say a bad fan motor that just wouldn't start for you at all, you know, wasn't bound up or anything, you want to verify to make sure it's a bad fan motor versus, you know, wiring or the control board, which would supply the voltage to it. You could always check here and see that you're getting the proper voltage to the fan motor. As long as you're getting the proper voltage to the fan motor's not running, you know, you'd have a bad fan motor. You could also check the fan motor for continuity through the windings of the fan motor as well. At this time, I don't have the proper voltage reading or ohm readings for that, but this is all, you know, part of an update kit. I've never seen one be, you know, a bad control board. It's always been the fan motors, and that's why they've been updating these. So next we can go ahead and get our evaporator cover back on. All right, got the evaporator cover back in here. This might fall off on you. If it does, you just put it back in right here like that, but we'll get this right side tucked in first. It's easier again if you remove the right side track as well. You want to be careful that this does not come unclipped here, your sensor from the suction tube here on the evaporator. Make sure that's nice and tight, making good contact. Your bottom is going to tuck behind the liner here, like that. And now we can reinstall our screws. And these are all those screws with the white heads on them. Now our cover can go back on. Just push that into place, it'll lock in. Next, we have our left side track here. This here is going to lock into our keyed slot, and this arm we want to make sure it goes back into the damper door here. Push that straight back. Test that out, make sure it's engaging, and we can reinstall our 1/4 inch screw. Now we can reinstall our rear cover here. Alright, we're just going to slide that one on top of the rear one, and in the front here, it's going to lock under the tab, so if you lift up on it, it should pull all the way off like that. In there. Now we can reinstall our 2/4 inch screws there. We're just going to slide our shelf back into place here. We're going to slide it to the back. It just has these 2 little notch outs that these tabs are going to sit in. And then all that's left is putting our crisper drawers back in. This one down here, you're going to have these tabs in the front that are going to lock into the grooves of the drawer. And then we can test, plug the unit back in now. We can test out that fan, make sure it's running. So if we come up to the top here, you have your air tower up the back wall, that fan blows air up and out. And you can definitely feel that fan running and airflow coming out strong. All right, so with the new fan motor, you're going to have your instruction sheet and then also this label to install underneath your model sticker on the inside right side of the refrigerator, so that if anybody else works on the unit, they know that the fresh food fan, evaporator fan motor has already been upgraded. So we want to put that sticker in there. And then also with the kit here, as I was saying, they've actually updated this kit a few different times. There are some that need the new fan motor as well as an update, and it'll come with a little USB and Ethernet cord that will actually plug in behind the door switch area at the top of the refrigerator. There's a plug-in for that, and they'll have instructions for it on updating it. Some of the past update kits for this also included a control board. See down at the bottom on this one, it says do not replace the main board, because they have done away with that and just gone with the software update now. Now, the software update's only going to need to be done according to the serial range here. Ours is not included in the update, so we're not going to be updating ours, but it is just going to all depend on that serial number range there and when the unit was made. So there is a service bulletin out on this from GE to determine all the models numbers that are listed, as well as the serial number range to include the update for this. So that would all be found on your service bulletin. What we'll do now is install our sticker here, and that's going to complete our repair.